around here speak basketball.
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Kyle Lowry. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Rivas, and who, sir, are you?
Well, I am the producer. My name is Matt Duncan. Freddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm feeling pretty good. How are you? You feeling all right?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling okay. I'm about to, do a little exercise after the pod. I'm excited about that. I got the exercise bike ready to go.
Cheers.
And I'm going to put on the crown, catching up on the crown.
Catch up on the crown. Make sure the queen, is treating everyone fairly, as which I assume is mostly what the crown is about. And I'm not sure if Theresa May is in there yet.
Theresa May, wow.
Whoops, wrong female British prime minister.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
How dare.
Theresa May.
Matt's working out, watching The Crown. I'm working out, watching PBS. So hey.
Oh, nice.
But let's get into the goods. If people want to, help us out, if they want to, find us. By the way, we're a basketball podcast. If you haven't figured that out yet, we're a Raptors NBA basketball podcast.
Correct.
Hardcore fans, and not a lot of insiders, but maybe some in the future. Matt, so
yes,
what's up? Where can people find us? Where can they, subscribe, join our Patreon?
We've got all these wonderful links everywhere. They kind of rain down like a soft snow. Beautiful. If you get to the right place, you'll find them on our Instagram and our Twitter. We've got one of those link trees, and you click on that, and then it just like unrolls a ledger full of our links. And guess what, Freddie? I didn't tell you this yet, but I did add a Shopify link to that link tree.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, I finally did it. I feel confident that we can actually do the Shopify thing now. So yeah, if you do want the anti-itch toque, it's cold. I went outside to check the mail tonight for the pod, and I regret not wearing the toque. Regret it. Because now I got to cut off parts of my ear because it's it's frozen.
Don't cut off any of your ear. I think the analogy has run its course. Matt's starting to lose his mind.
Sorry about that. Okay. Obviously, I'm joking here. I didn't cut off my ears yet, but those toques, there is a link to them now. Okay, so you got to check out that link tree. If not, just go to dunkspodcast.com. We got our links there, and the Sonar Network. That is the network we're on. They are in the podcast universe. I guess they're like our high class lawyers that run into the rooms and
I love it.
Make sure everybody knows our case.
Yeah, they're big time scary lawyers. That's the way to think about our podcast network. But there's so many good pods on there, and they're big angry lawyers for all of us as a collective.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
they all wear suits. They sleep in their suits. They have briefcases, which is cool.
Yeah, they sleep. Yeah, so this is what we want you to know. This is the important info.
Yeah, this is just like inside stuff. If you're like looking to join a podcast network, get one that's like a lawyer.
Damn right. Is that all the goods? What Matt? If people want to,
support us,
help us out during these tough times.
Yeah, we've all got tough times. I know it's tough. The wallets are tight, but we do have a Patreon. You can just chip in a little, or you can chip in a lot, and you get a little bit more with the more you pay, right, folks? Like you get, you're gonna get the exclusive episode the day that we record, early access to that, additional content, as well as possibly Freddie's hot sauce.
That's right.
So, find the tier that works for you. We might have to start renaming the tiers because half of our tiers are no longer on the Raptors.
That's right. Oh my God, we're gonna have to reorganize those tiers.
Yeah. Do we just keep them indefinitely?
We got to reorganize them.
The Jeremy Lin one stays.
Okay, fine. I'm glad we had this talk.
$2.
But I think that basically brings us to the beginning of the pod. But before we launch right in, let me just say, as I am known to say, email your city councilors, people. Defund the police. Black Lives Matter. And let's get this podcast going. Maddie, if you feel like we're good to go, please, sir, just give me those sweet words, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring on guest number one. I've known him for a long time. He's done the pod a bunch. We tend to agree on everything, so I want to keep that going. But if there's a natural disagreement, there's a natural disagreement. He's hilarious. He's a wicked stand-up. He's an improviser. He's an actor. He's an athlete. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Yaw Attuah.
Every single time I hear that song, I think it's Summer One.
I was impatient and let the beat drop. That's when the man takes off his pants all the way.
Takes off his pants.
Yeah. It's for me. It's that type of beach vibes, like beach raves.
Oh yes, beach raves. Just like shirts off, splash the water, flirt, kick someone's sandcastle because we're a bully. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, don't kid. You know, if you're Yaw on the beach, you got to kick over a sandcastle every now and then just to show people what's up.
You do it by accident, and then you build it, and then you come for that kid who built the sandcastle, and then some bully comes along and tries to destroy it, and you throw a football at them. That's who I am. That's who I am at the beach.
Wow, that's just a wonderful kind of like image that people can deal with or enjoy. Like they can absorb that however they want. But let's bring on guest number two. I feel like you two have done the pod together before, but maybe not. It's going to be a fun combo. He's also hilarious. He's a wicked stand-up. I've known him for a pretty long time, too. He's a frequent guest of the pod. He's probably the best back-to-the-basket big man I know. Shout out any Arvydas Sabonis fans. He looks nothing like Sabonis. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Ian Gordon.
Oh, man, this is good.
Two of the hottest tracks, too. Yeah, baby. CIA
Welcome to
torture.
Guantanamo.
Oh, God.
I like that.
Ian, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I'm enjoying the January. It's flown by, hasn't it? 2021's flying by.
Oh, yeah. 2021 is like all those people who are like, oh, 2020 is so crazy. I'm like, 2021, not going to be crazy. Going to be totally tame. And
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I'm ready to enjoy it, you know?
You're ready for a really boring year.
Yeah, I think that's the most bankable thing at this point.
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm good with boring.
I'm good
You
with
know?
boring.
So long as my goal, it would be nice if we all got to go into a restaurant within the next 12 months. Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm into that.
I'd like
Watch
to go
the Raptors
I'd
win the
like to
championship.
just go to a deli.
Oh, yeah.
I want to tip a waitress named Misty. Not against tipping my Uber.
So
like,
specific.
Misty.
Like, you
Listen,
know, spread the wealth.
if you are Misty, please check Misconnections because Yao is for sure trying to reach out. Let's
You're gonna just get a bunch of people that were crying that are gonna check Misconnections. Misty, right? The tears, missed.
hey,
Sorry.
you know, you could encounter a lot
sorry.
worse people on the internet than Yao.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But,
yeah,
Oh,
it's great.
thank you.
You know, hey, trying to throw some good vibes.
That's a good buy. What an endorsement. Not terrible.
I'm looking at my own image too much because I've winked like 3 times, and that just needs to go away. And we need to talk some Raptors ball because there's a ton going on, as there always is. Maddie, if you're there, and I know you are, I keep saying that, please, good sir, give me your best, most delicious Raptors Sting. No. Ian, let's go to you first. Chris Boucher, Trey Boucher, the 3. You got Black Quebecois, Slim
So
Duck.
good. So
Like
good.
he needs more nicknames because he's just beasting unbelievably hard. He's exploding. I think there's obviously going to be some type of like settle in moment. What do you think it is? Like not the moment, but like what, like after this Chris Boucher, assuming he doesn't remain like, I don't know, all-star level for the rest of the season, what's like a fair regression to expect? Or him in the lineup.
You're going to get a plateau with him for sure. But it's just nice to see him playing above what everyone expected because it shows kind of what he can do. When you put him in the right position to succeed, he can do. Is he a 2010 guy? No, but he can do it, right? Like it's opportunity based. He's probably not going to get enough opportunity to get those numbers every day, especially with Nurse's system, kind of like hot hand feeding, lineup mixing up kind of thing. He'll have his crazy games, which he's had. He had 5 threes the one game, then he had another game with 6 blocks, another game with 7 blocks. So we can see his ability on both ends of the floor, but I could see him settling in at, 16 and 9 would be great, kind of thing. 16 and 10, 17 and 10, But
yeah, so his average right now is 16 and 7. Like that's
right.
through the season, which probably includes a couple short shifts and that sort of thing. He's 23 minutes on the year.
Exactly.
So statistically, that seems pretty in the ballpark. Sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No, you're right, and I think that's what I mean. I don't think the scoring volume might not be there, just because we have so many other weapons on the offensive end. But I could see his rebounds going up a tick. For sure, he could. I wonder, you think he could average 2 blocks a game? Maybe, right? I mean, he seems like.
Yeah, he has the most. He has the most blocks outside of the paint in the NBA.
It's crazy.
So it's like I think right now there's this element where he's surprising everyone. It's like the Lakers game last year every night, where they're like everyone's like, "Who's this guy? Whoa, he's pretty talented. Let me just underestimate him for a bit. Wait, I can't underestimate him. Okay, well, we probably can't do that. Whoa, he's doing like Durant style threes. So it's like,
exactly.
I'm just waiting for, him to be in a scouting report legitimately where a team's like, okay, so this guy's really good at these 5 things. And
yeah, I mean, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's two things will happen. That will happen, but he'll get more minutes, so his numbers will go up.
True.
I think that there is. I mean, where does he slot in? I think it's matchup based for sure, depending on who they're going to play. Like if they're playing kind of a small ball, quick lineup, then he'll probably play more. But if they have to play somebody like, I don't know, like Embiid or something, or someone like big like that, it's hard. But he shows what he can do. He's athletic. He can move, especially on the perimeter on the defensive end. But, I don't want to get off topic, but maybe the Raptors are going to address some more of their issues with bigs. I don't know. But again, we're going to speak about it later, but the way things are going, sort of, beating Dallas, stuff like that, it's looking like maybe they're figuring their system out with him without a need to address it. I don't know. So, but again, if he gets more minutes this season, maybe, like I said, 17 and 10, potentially.
How dare you stray from the topic?
On this show?
No. Well, it's Stray City over here, and we'll get to what you're referring to, but yeah, you hit a lot of good points. Like I think we are finding our identity with Boucher, so that does mean more minutes, etc. Yeah, where are you at as far as like Boucher settling into the squad, assuming he's not this like absolute, just like soul destroyer of a player?
Yes. Right now we're getting what I assume peak Boucher is. It's nice to see this.
Yes.
If he could maintain this for the season, and we could just find our footing again, because I'm assuming Tampa is just sucking out all the life from our players, then this team would be nearly impossible to beat in the playoffs. Like, that's truly what I assume will happen is we'll see a little bit of a dip in his points. We'll see a little bit of a dip in his rebounds. It'll settle around a like a. It'd be nice if he was like a 12 and 7.5 guy off the bench. He would just that would just be like real ideal. Right now he's overperforming. I love it. I personally do love it. I also feel like he's eating up the other bench because he's still like not getting the ball for the starting time. He's just coming off the bench and just giving us everything.
And that changes, like Ian was saying, with the matchups, right? Like
I think he's just a matchup nightmare for anybody who's not like a starting big. Like outside of your like, there's a few starting bigs like your Karl Anthony Towns and your what's his name in Miami? I believe I forgot some names. But
Bam. Are you thinking of Bam?
Yes.
Bam. Yeah, exactly. Like a guy like Bam, you would imagine is going to eat Boucher's heart out. But also, he's thriving in this small ball world. Like he can cover wings. He can, even Boucher and Stanley, which we'll get to. I'm killing my own. I'm doing what Ian was doing, and we got an Aaron Baines night. From Matt. Matt will throw some stuff in there from time to time, folks.
Look at it. I like it. I like how he's performing right now. I think he's just picking up the slack in the middle that we clearly have, and we'll talk about it in a bit, about our centers not performing, our starting centers, our center acquisitions of the offseason are not performing up to snuff, and he's just like kind of picking up where they left off, which is great. It just shows how being in the program pays dividends. I mean, we're seeing it with Stanley Johnson this year, who just did not perform last year, and now he's just coming in his own. He's seeming more comfortable, and Chris Boucher's like showing up, and it just we have a system that develops players. I just wish it was a little bit faster, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, and I think the cupboards are a little bit bare right now. And what Ian was referring to, and I think like I'll just bring up because you've rightfully kind of moved on to Stanley Johnson, the Stanimal, who's kind of charming everyone, not light in the butt. And that's right. That's kind of working with Boucher. It's like this is all tying together with our identity forming. Like I think he's helping us form that. But the Raptors have dropped Alex Len. So, the center experiment of Baines and Len. And okay, well, we'll sign Boucher because he's already a Raptor. Well, Baines isn't working. Len, I guess, wasn't working at all. So this maybe does point to kind of like a direction. And, we can speculate about who it's going to be. But I think it's, I guess, Kyle O'Quinn, Deadman, maybe there's a trade. Who knows? But sticking with what you were talking about, just like, are you charmed by Stanley Johnson? Like, do you believe it? Like, where are you at with him?
I feel like the words last year, you remember that conference with Nick Nurse, and people were talking about how hardworking Stanley was. And he was like, no, like, did not want to give him any credit whatsoever.
Yep. He was rough to him last year.
He was rough. He didn't get a lot of minutes last year. He had a big contract. It seemed like we spent too much money on him, and we should have kept some money more aside for Ronde. And like now he's stepping up, and I think it's just part he took it personally.
By the way, bring Ronde home. Sorry.
Yeah, part he took it personally, and part like our system is good for growth and development. Like you saw Siakam come up. You saw even Kyle Lowry. Like you see people once they get kind of settled, just really find their place and their spot within the team. So I like what Stanley's doing. I feel
do you buy it? That's what I want to know.
I you know what I do? I feel like he's like you stay around the team long enough, like.
You know what? Me too. I don't know if it's just like good vibes, but it does seem like he's he's buying into the 8th, 9th man role, which is like, hey man, that's good when you have buy-in at that role and someone who's not gonna take a bunch of silly shots and hit their open shots. But
Yeah.
sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
I just feel like our bench is pretty close to what you want a playoff bench to be. Just like we can go just deep enough with a bunch of people we trust to support the people who can put the ball in the bucket. The issue right now is just like kind of finding our synergy at the same time. I just think that's where our issue is.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having like our starter, like our big starting 4 players and our OG Pascal, Freddie, and Kyle playing well at the same time, like playoff well, but like everybody else seems to be stepping up. So I like what Stanley's doing. I buy it. I like his reference to having drunk in the trunk.
Yep, me too.
Listen, we have some thick boys on our team, right?
We do. I love it. Ian, we got some thick boys on the team. That's a nice meaty transition. Stanley is I don't know. Yeah, Stanley's charming me. He's charming Yaw. Are you like, hey, this guy's a actual like, no, get him out of here? Or are you kind of like, are you charmed?
I'm charmed as much as like you're going to be charmed from somebody who's at the end of the bench doing what they can and playing well. That's
so
charm.
He's getting a half smirk from you.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fine end of bench player for sure. You need a hustle player. Every team needs someone like that. Every team needs somebody who's willing to come in that 8-9 slot and do their job and do it well. And if the team needs XYZ at the moment, you provide it, right? So he's doing that well. Like you said, how he played Luka, and Luka's going to do what he does. But if he can provide that for us, and the other guys who are going to score, who are going to run the offense, can do that, then maybe you have something. Because you got to figure they had a plan with this team. If you let, Gasol and Ibaka walk, those are your 2 bigs, but they're also like, Ibaka's led the league in blocks, and Gasol's a former Defensive Player of the Year. Like, you're letting, yes, they're in the latter stages of their career, but you can't kind of just pick up that kind of skill and intuitiveness. And especially when you grab
experience.
Yeah, and championship together, right? So you let those guys go, and then you get Aaron Baines and Alex Len. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, that particular position isn't necessarily important anymore to what we're trying to do. Because you clearly know that you bring in Len, who's not proven, and Baines, who is like, he wears high socks. Like, that's all I need to say. So,
yeah, like a good thing, right?
Like, what do you, they must have something up their sleeve, and beating Dallas like the way they did, and if it's all about wins, right? So, let's say they're winning, and this is working. Then maybe they don't make a change. Maybe Johnson is right for his role, and maybe everything's kind of working out the way it's meant to be. But if the wins don't come, I don't know. Johnson's not going to play a factor. He might just be gone, right? He might be in a trade or something. He's that kind of player.
Yeah, no, I think it's like it's important to not get like too invested in like Raptors like saviors this year, and I think that there might be some truth to Johnson plays some night. We haven't seen a lot from Bembry. Maybe he's someone who buys into the system in the right way, and he's kind of just learning it right now, and ends up being like a impactful guy. Flynn has definitely looked pretty good, taking the keys. I actually wasn't on the like, oh, Flynn's got to play train, because I was like, we're so small. Like, I don't see the minutes for small guys, but he does maybe seem to have the headiness to kind of outweigh that. And I actually didn't really talk about. I meant to. Stanley Johnson, part of his charm was saying like, yeah, this is all the Raptors defense. I didn't shut down Luka, also kind of implying OG didn't shut down Luka, like we were the primary assignment. And, that's pretty true to the way the Raptors defense is recognized around the league. Like, you had Tatum last year saying that the most difficult defensive assignment on any night was playing against the Raptors. I think he definitely motivated himself because he looked like he had a pretty easy game against us when we played him. But let's keep talking.
Wait, before we
Dallas.
go on,
Sorry.
I just
Go
want
ahead,
to say
yeah.
one thing about centers in this league because like people think it's like a position that like doesn't need attention anymore. Like we just everything's going shooting and everything's small. Listen, good centers are just hard to find. Like
Totally.
like
They're
good
rare.
dives are just they're not a dive like you have your cat, you have Bam, you have like even Drummond plays decent but doesn't play good on defense. Mitchell Robinson's playing well. The only reason why I know that is because he's on a fantasy team. He's not taking me out for some weird reason.
Christian Wood, dude. Christian Wood. Don't forget about Christian Wood.
Christian Wood is a 4. Even
He's a star.
Boogie is playing pretty decently, but it's hard to get a good 5. And so like I feel like it's not a position because everything else, like in order to play any of the other 4 positions, the skill level has gone up so much, and then you have a dominating center, and they just eat up a lackluster center. So like for every like Gasol or even like AD can play the 5, like you have like I don't even know who's starting for Detroit, and it's just really hard to find. I think it's just really hard to find a good 5. So I don't think it's a less of a need, but I think like you have a team like the Magic who hoards 2 of them, but then you have like the leading passer in the league is Jokovic in Denver, and it's just crushing. So you get the right one, you're like in a good position. You don't get one, you have to figure some things out.
Yeah.
It's a bonus.
No, it's true. It's like I think it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, you need a really good like center. It's like cool if you can get your hands on one. And I think that you kind of have to build around what you have.
I think the old NBA
like a
used
quarterback
to
in a way, isn't it?
compromise. The old NBA used to compromise on their centers. That's why you had Chris Dudley used to start at center, which like it's funny to think of, but then you have Shaq dunking on him, and you just love watching that replay over and over. But like you'd have like bad players just Michael Olowokandi get drafted because they're tall, and then like when you have a good center, you kind of remember why the position's important. I think now it's just like they're not really going to have a subpar 5, and instead you'll just play 4, 5 good players instead of like one tall oaf and 4 other players. That's my rant about centers.
No, Brett, no. Center rants are welcome. And yeah, Ian, like
I played the 1
with Dallas, like I don't know, I feel like I was seeing a more comprehensive not like full 48, but taking into account this whole like center talk thing, because like what Yaw was saying too is like KP is kind of one of those guys, although his height didn't bother us that much, and we were able to kind of like work around it and beat the crap out of Dallas. So like Ian, what are you thinking as far as like, do you feel like this is like a turn? Like does this game make you feel like we've turned it around?
I mean, Dallas is a good team, and if you can beat them comfortably, then you've got something going. Because if you're a bad team, you always lose to good teams, right? And even though Dallas's record isn't there right now, they're still good. Luka's a star. Kristaps been out the whole season. Yeah, it looks like Hardaway is hurt a bit because he shot the ball. He didn't even hit a shot, I don't think. So either way, that's a credit to our defense. So yeah, I would say that this kind of win gives me confidence that you can beat if Houston comes to town, or decent West Coast teams come to town, or Milwaukee, you can give them a go. You don't look at Milwaukee and go, well, we're going to get blown out, right? That's when as a fan you're like, shit,
crap,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you can beat Dallas early in the season, when you can start as poorly as we did and come back and have a kind of a good win in the kind of 10 to 12 game mark, then that is spirited for sure. And they're, like you said, think about center position. Like we're talking about traditional center, rebounding, outlet passing, intelligent, bulky kind of center. There hasn't been an NBA champion, maybe the Cavs, but that's only because of LeBron specifically. But like every other team, even the Raptors had Gasol and Ibaka. Like Anthony Davis is on the Lakers. LeBron is amazing, but if you put him with Anthony Davis, like they can't really be beat. You know what I mean? The center position is crazy important.
Yeah, and no, I think like just to tack onto my question, Ian, like not so much do you think the Raptors have like fully turned it around, like we're an awesome team, but I think we're a pretty good team. But like, I guess also what I'm driving at is like, do you think maybe some of that Raptors panic, should we trade Kyle talk? It's like have the Raptors played well enough that it's like, oh right, that's a silly conversation.
You know what, man? The sun rises and somebody on the internet says we should trade Kyle Lowry.
Fair. That's
you know what I mean? Like it's all I've been hearing for the past 5 years.
Yeah, it's years.
Sure,
now.
trade him, but are you going to get value? And not just on paper value. Are you going to get intrinsic value for what you're going to do to that team to trade away the captain? You'd better get something good back and not just something on paper. You better get something that you can win games with, because doing that, you're sacrificing. If you trade him, even if you got a star, you won't win this year. You know what I mean? Like you really have to have a plan.
It would honestly be devastating. Like I think people, that's one of those things where they're like, yeah, do it. And then if it actually happened, it would be like sad. There'd be like a week of mourning. The people who came back would be like, wait, we got a couple picks?
Yeah, exactly. No. And then he's going to come back and he'll be on whatever team he's on. And he'll score like 30 points. And
I can't.
Fuck.
I can't.
You know what I
mean? That's so heartbreaking. I can't even think about it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's not like he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you at? Like, do you think the Raptors have turned it around? Do you think that type of like, what should we do because this season's a loss talk is done? Or are you kind of like, I need more convincing?
Okay, so this might be long. Well, try to see if I can cut it down. Us playing in Tampa is like, I was having this conversation with a few other people, but it's like the most, like, imagine being this like displaced from your home and having to come up with new routines in a new area of the world and still like do your job at a high level. So I feel like most of this season is hard to like kind of contextualize with everything else. Like it's going to be hard to win when you have to stay in a temporary house in Florida, the sign language capital of that damn state. I know that. Don't ask me why, but I do know that as a fact. So it's for one, I feel like part of the season is kind of a wash in that sense. Like we were either going to do gangbusters because we're down there, or we're not going to adjust well. And I don't think we've adjusted super well yet. That being said, never trade Kyle. That trade tie is always going to persist because if we don't have a winning record, the Clippers need a point guard, and for some reason, some people are going to try to talk that into existence. It is going to be like because he's everything the Clippers need is what Kyle is. He's a leader who can hit shots, who plays defense. He is Lou Will and Pat Beverly put together, except not nearly as obnoxious and does not have the same hankering for chicken wings as they do.
The sad part is like that's who we would get. It would be like Lou Will, Bev. They have to get like to salary match. They have to get within $5 million of $33 million. So that's like a whole part of this like Raptors or the like Lowry stuff that I'm always just like, get out of here. Like, cause like most contenders aren't like, what should I do with this extra $33 million? Most contenders are pretty close to having the team they want. So it's like, they don't have that kind of dead salary. Just like,
no one has it. So I don't expect it. But then again, I think
hard like the Thunder.
And like, I think after DeRozan getting traded, it would take, you have to move mountains to move if you want to trade Lowry, if you expect the fan base to kind of stay on board for this. Besides, I don't think they should. I think they need to ride out this season and then see what, regardless of what the outcome is, and see what next year brings if they can play their games in Toronto, because I think this team is completely different. If the season started in Toronto versus the season started in Florida, I don't care about the whole, like, no fans thing. I just think the fact that they're not going to their home, to their practice facility, to their arena throws them off. So I
Here.
Yeah. So no, don't trade him. Never trade him. He is the first and only Raptors player, I believe, that should even be considered for a jersey retirement.
I totally agree.
I'm not big
you know
on
what? I feel like I just can't not talk about the giant NBA news anymore. So let's get going because we got to talk about the beard. Just because we just got it. It's huge. Maddie, I know you're there, so I'm not even gonna say I hope you're there. Good sir, can you rev up your nastiest, most angry NBA Adam Silver sting? Good sir, please.
This is Adam Silver.
I messed up with my throw there. Don't know what to say. I usually say take it away. And then I said good sir. And I was like, wait, did I already say good sir? So I dropped a second good sir. Anyways, we're
so disappointing.
We're doing okay out here. Yeah, let me go to you. Let me go first on this just wild Brooklyn trade. We'll explore the other parts of it later. Indiana, Houston. There is a lot of interesting parts, and I think Karis LeVert. Hopefully, he is okay. That's kind of shocking news. But one game happened. We got a 30-point triple-double. Looks like Kyrie is on his way back. And we do have a legitimate superstar big three. It's, in my opinion, the only big three in the NBA. I think it vaults them into contention. I don't know if I can say that I think they are the favorite. But I'm almost there. Yeah, what do you think? Are they the team to beat or what?
It makes the East interesting. They're not the finals favorites. No, not even close. For reasons such forth. One, the Lakers are still like a cut above the rest of the league. They went into the offseason thinking they acted like they lost the finals, which I thought was strange, but also like amazing. Like they were so motivated to repeat. Two, Harden in the playoffs is still going to be a big mystery because he's not working as hard during the regular season, but he's not going to need to. He's not going to put the team on his back like he did in Houston for 10 years, 8 years to be specific. But we still don't have that playoff performance. When a team can scout you and know you and see you for the next 2 weeks, how he's going to perform in that, because he just hasn't. He usually just kind of burns out, and this version of James Harden doesn't look like he's going to surpass that threshold anytime soon. And they don't look like they're going to play D. Yeah, they had some defensive stops against the Bucks last night, but
what are you talking about? Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan?
No.
They're going to lock teams down.
Listen,
no?
that's a Bud problem. I think Milwaukee. I think this is the best thing to happen to Milwaukee, because I think Milwaukee's problem is Bud. They just need a better coach than Bud in situations, and Brooklyn kind of exposed some things, so if they don't make the finals, then Bud's for sure God.
Wait. What do you, you mean if Milwaukee doesn't beat Brooklyn, Bud?
If Milwaukee can't get past Brooklyn, but I just like Philadelphia for some reason. I feel like Philadelphia was a team to beat. They're my finals pick out of the East. That's not the Raptors. Obviously, the Raptors getting in at number 6 and tearing up the East is what my brain and heart really feel. But I feel like the team to beat in the East right now. There's no real team to beat in the East because the finals, everything. I don't think Miami.
It's a long ways away. It's just
a long ways away, and Miami is not the team that made the finals last year, and I don't think anyone else has proved it. So I don't think there's a team to beat in the East. But my personal finals favorite is Philadelphia. They're just the most put together team offensively and defensively. And I don't think there's a matchup for Embiid. That's another big person that
Mm-hmm.
that's a skilled big man, and I don't think there's a matchup for them. And I think Doc just has their head on straight. So
Ian, what do you think? Brooklyn team to beat, or are you kind of with Yao, where they're like, it's a mid-season thing? I gotta say, like, I'm usually more. Oh my god, me and Yao are kind of disagreeing here. Well, not even fully, because like I'm actually with Yao's reasoning, but I do think this is an electric big three. It's like KD, James, and Kyrie. Like I kind of think Kyrie is the perfect third man. Like as a second man, I'm like, I'm not sure. Sorry?
I was gonna say I'd be more afraid of them if Kyrie wasn't on the team. Like it was Harden and Durant and another guy. It was like if it was Lowry, it'd be a wash. You know what I mean? Like
I agree. He is like
Kyrie-
that volatile figure.
Yeah.
And he does like add like increase the blow up potential. But yeah, Ian, what do you think? Where are you at with Brooklyn?
They're for sure the East favorite in my opinion. Well, Milwaukee's got some cohesiveness, which will be to their advantage if they faced each other. They know each other. But the one thing Milwaukee would have is more pressure, because, like you said, their coach is gone if they don't beat them, and Giannis not to the finals again, bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's more pressure on Milwaukee, but they have some cohesiveness. They've got some good players. Middleton is good, but the thing that holds that team together, Brooklyn, is Durant. Durant is an assassin. He doesn't want to lose, and he doesn't give a fuck about going to this, pardon my French, to the strip club, and he doesn't care about burning sage. He wants to win, and he wants to get more championship trophies. Kevin Durant wants to win.
He looks disgusting right now.
This is the thing. Kevin Durant wants to win. He's like LeBron. He wants to win. He doesn't give a shit about the extracurricular stuff. God love him. I'm sure he's got his opinions on things and his motivations outside of basketball. But when he's playing, he wants to win. And he will drag those two guys by the underwear to, you know what I mean? Like, he will get them to win. And I think that they will win the East because of that and because of him, if he stays healthy, of course. And their team's not bad. The bench is whatever, but you have those three players. You don't worry about too much. Like, Kyrie is ridiculous. He's so good.
To your point, Ian, the pecking order is kind of interesting on the Nets because it is distinguished. It's like you have these three excellent players, but it's like, well, Durant's better than
Durant's the
Harden.
alpha dog.
And then it's like, well, Harden's better than Irving, and then and then Irving's
realistically
for sure better than the rest of the team.
It's just about alphas though. In that sense, is that like it's just about what have I done and what it and the problem again is this is where you have issues is because you think that, but those guys don't think that. You know what I mean? In Kyrie's mind, he hit that shot over Steph. He, you know what I mean? Like Durant is Durant, but I feel like they're not winning a championship. You kind of have to have a really good meld. You have to have cohesiveness, and there can be no kind of like that's not team sports, right? It's not how it works.
We all saw the Clippers last year.
Well, you also have and you also have Nash, who is kind of an unknown as a coach. He's a very good basketball player, and he seems like he's a decent coach. But like, let's say they play the Lakers, who just came off a championship. This is the stuff of theater, okay? Because it's Kyrie going back and trying to beat his dad, and Durant going and exercising demons without Curry, and then Harden is just there, who's this guy who can score 60 points and get 20 assists. Like, so it's crazy. But the Lakers.
Then you got Caruso.
Yeah, the Lakers beat them. You got Caruso. You got, you know what I mean? You got a lot of guys. You got Dudley. Is Dudley still on the team?
Yeah, Dudley. By the way, my favorite Dudley
Dudley's
thing is
just
that
eating cold cuts.
He tells like hotel people that his name is President, like his fake name is President something. So when they call him for something, they're like, Mr. President, or his last name, whatever. He figured it out, and I didn't.
Listen, I could see Dudley like laughing to himself and food coming out of his mouth in the hotel room, and you know what I mean? Like, but my point is that they'll win the East, yes, but if they have to play the Lakers in the finals, the Lakers will beat them.
Okay, Ian, let me stick with you for the last question. Just a straight up early season MVP, and not as in who's played the best so far.
Good question.
But it's such a narrative award and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just early snapshot in time. Who do you think is going to do all the things they need to do to win the MVP?
Well, again, there's the ubiquitous, yes, you can give it to LeBron James every year award, and he could have 15 MVPs. You know what I mean? Sure. But I think, depending on where Dallas goes, I think that he'll probably land with Luka. He's the NBA's new golden boy. He's 21. He looks like the best player in the NBA under 25. They want him to shine, and he deserves it. The other thing you have to factor in is if Dallas is sort of like in the playoffs, they don't need home court. Like, if they vaulted up to 4-3, he got it. But if you take him off that team, they're not good. Like, Kristaps is fine, but he's going to get injured again. Who's the next best player on that team? Tim Hardaway Jr.? Like, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're a pretty
totally.
good team. They're a pretty good team, and they're well coached. But Luka is that good. And, I mean, I don't know who else you give it to, Luka or LeBron. I don't see anybody else.
My early one was Jokic because I thought the Nuggets were going to just, take the regular season so freaking seriously and just, have a crazy record, and then he would be their best player, and, also having, he's incredible. He's, an MVP-worthy guy.
For sure.
Now I'm kind of leaning towards someone else, but I'm going Yaw first, so I want to see who you're thinking.
If you asked me this preseason, I would have said Luka because the league wanted Luka to win. Because you're right, this is a narrative-driven award. It's never actually given by the letter of its definition. It's not given to the most valuable. It's just given to the most valuable according to the story that you've laid out. So if they have to be a top 4 team for Luka to actually get it, because if they fall, unless he's averaging unreal numbers, which he's not at the moment, he'll lose it. After that, it's I feel like part of them I'm leaning towards LeBron, not because LeBron should win it every year, which he should. But I think the narrative about him being 36 years old and still at the top of his game, and the Lakers are in the top 2. If the Lakers remain in the 1-2 spot and he still has great numbers and he's second in the league in assists, they'll probably just build that narrative about longevity, and you have to give it to someone who's lasted that long. So I'm leaning that way, but we'll see. If Dallas climbs back within the top 4, Luka will get it.
I would love to see LeBron get his 5th. He deserves 5 because
he would be fully in
5 would be nice.
Abdul-Jabbar territory.
He deserves 5. He deserves 5 MVPs.
He'd be a late season MVP. He'd be chasing his scoring title. He'd be a Laker late in life.
The Derrick Rose MVP, you give it to Derrick Rose because he really did have a great year. But that year, LeBron was that was one of the best years of his career.
That was a joke.
LeBron was crazy. He was
LeBron was
crazy
insane that year. The year he got MVP, his first year in Miami, I think. He also should have got Defensive Player of the Year because he was just head and shoulders the best player.
Dude, when he was 27, 28, he was crazy.
I think his first year is when he didn't get it because everyone hated him.
He was ridiculous.
No, I think he got it. They just didn't give it.
Oh, he did? I'm trying. Isn't that when Rose got it?
Or maybe that's when Rose got it. I don't know.
Because then it went back to being oh, whoops, sorry, LeBron is way better.
Kiss from a rose, eh?
Yeah.
Kiss from a rose. Cheers.
I mean, but Jokic is the other one that's sneaking up because he's leading the league in assists right now, and he's averaging a triple-double right now. And
yes, I agree with the Jokic pick, but he's just not a sexy MVP. That's the problem. You go down lines of MVPs in the record books, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Shaquille, and then Jokic. People are
if he leads the league in
He does-
assists. And
yeah,
those guys
no, I
don't
hear
fall
you.
below 6.
I love the Joker.
I've
He's
actually
great.
kinda
He's a total
changed-
Frankenstein.
I've changed to Embiid. Like,
No.
I think
I love
I
it.
know. He just like as soon as you said no, I'm like, you're right, because he just
I
won't
would
play
think
enough
he's better
games
than
or
both
something.
of those, so.
He's gonna hurt his toe, his toe or something, or like
Yeah,
his,
he's not durable.
you know,
But
his
that's the thing.
elbow
I
or some
think if he
shit,
plays
his
at least
rib.
55 games, he's in the running, regardless of
Yeah,
what
he-
years.
Joel Embiid is incredible, but
And-
he never plays enough to win the award.
Yeah. And yeah, you're completely like right to reinforce the narrative thing, because that's kind of why I think could be a weird one this year with Giannis, because I think the Bucks could potentially have the best record again, and his stats could be out of control, and it could be like, ooh, it's got to be Giannis.
No,
But with him and
I've always
Holiday,
heard
hold on.
Giannis will not get MVP.
Well, with him and Holiday, I think it's like Holiday is going to take that away. Basically,
I don't think it's Holiday. I think it's the fact that he hasn't made a finals. He's already won 2 in a row. They don't like him in 3 in a row unless he had won a finals within that time.
That's true.
There's no chance. He can average 40 and 20 and they won't give it to him. It just look like,
I mean,
It's too
maybe not
boring
40
at this
and 20,
point.
but you know what I mean?
Harden kind of proved that last year, where he was like, all right, I guess wild stats aren't everything.
No. Like unless they go like undefeated for the rest of the year, like there's no way he's gonna get it.
Agreed.
Agreed. Okay, let's finish this baby off with some goddamn quickish questions. Two of my favorite buds. Are we ready to do this or what?
Heck yes.
I'm
All right.
built for this.
Maddie, good sir, please give me the sweetest, most delicious, quickish questions you got.
Quickish question.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello?
if you're checking this thing out, that's Matty D. He's awesome. It's not Matt Devlin, but we do that as well. Let's do some quickish questions. I'll pull these babies up. You guys know how it works. You can't phone a friend. You can't delay. You just got to answer as quickly and concisely as you can. We won't hold it against you. Me, on the other hand, I might have a seizure. I might, just read the wrong sentence. I could be confused by punctuation, stutter, slur. All sorts of things might happen with the reading of my question. But that's the game. That's how it is. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do Ian, Yaw, Matt.
Okay.
Ian, what's better than a 3-game winning streak?
Triple cheese pizza.
Ooh.
Good answer. Yaw, what NBA rule would you get rid of?
Oh jeez. I would get rid of the backcourt violation. It's not that effective.
Okay. Matt,
Yeah.
if you could develop a signature commentary phrase like Jack's Boucher Bonjour, what would it be?
Signature phrase. Well, I think that when I don't know why OG doesn't do this. I was thinking about this before. Whenever he hits a 3, I would say it's tea time, and he's
That
Oh my
is a
God.
great answer. I love you.
That's
Ian,
incredible.
Ian.
The sip, this part?
The
he's
sip was
sipping
huge.
that.
Oh,
The sip was huge. It was a little saucer.
They always
We
say
could
he's from
see
the
it.
UK, right? They always intro him with that. So I'm like, well, he's gotta lean right into that tea.
Oh, man.
Lean into the tea, baby. Ian.
Yep.
Is Stanley Johnson's single white female Black Swan / Fight Club, I don't know, to OG Anunoby?
I have to say, this is when like somebody asks you if you've seen a movie and you just say yes, and then they have follow-up questions, and you're like, Also, yes. So
Yeah,
my
you're
answer
like,
is
shit.
also yes.
Okay, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good.
Oh, can I say the rule that I would get rid of is
Yes.
you're allowed to come off the bench during a brawl. I want some brawls, baby.
You know what? Yeah, I'm
Let's
gonna change it. I want
Or
that.
bench brawls.
bench clearing is good.
It's not the bench clearing part, just the whole like automatic suspension if you get off if there's a
You know,
confrontation.
there's a little passion, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's dumb as shit.
Sorry.
Are we back?
Yes. Are you asking me?
Yeah, that was the question. You answered it. You rocked it,
We're back.
Matt.
Mhm.
And this is just an off the dome one for you.
Oh dear.
Could you believe I actually beat you that bad in fantasy last week?
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, I lost 8-1 to Freddie last week.
Oh,
I
brutal.
don't think my team is that bad. I don't
His
understand.
team's good. I
what's
got real
happening.
lucky.
But
I've
I've
been
got
getting
James
screwed,
Harden, so now that he's got his head straight, hopefully, it could be a little smoother sailing because he has not been very good fantasy wise.
I'd like to say I'd
Okay.
like Devin Booker to shoot the ball better too.
Oh,
If
Guys,
he's
I'll
listening.
talk to them both. No worries. That's the pod though. We made it to the end.
Thank you.
This was a good one. We got some jokes, some analysis. I sprung Matt with an unfair question. I'm so sorry, everybody. We have a good relationship. Everything's going to be okay. I hope. I don't know. Maybe we don't. You know what I mean? No, we're good. Ian, what's
Yes.
up? Where can people check you out? Where can they listen to you crack some jokes?
Well, I've been doing my Instagram stories on shirt_Gordon. That's my Instagram handle. If you want to give me a follow, but I'm also going to try to get a YouTube channel going, and I'm working on the intro video right now. I've got a little keyboard, and I'm making
Ooh.
my own intro song. So and other than that, I've been eating a lot of sliced cheese and just hanging out.
Man, I gotta get in on the sliced cheese, and also you
Listen,
can
it's
multitask
available.
at a level I can't. So
I can tell you right now, cheese is your friend, Freddie. Unless you're lactose intolerant, then it's not your friend. Those are the
Oh,
two
no.
rules of love life.
I pound cheese.
Electric fence or non-electric fence.
I like it. Yeah, what's up? Where can people check you out? You're busy. You're a busy fella.
Boom. Instagram, Twitter at Yaw Experience. My website is yawexperience.com. I've been working on this writing project. I asked for a bunch of prompts because I do a lot of writing, and I was between edits, and I was like, send me the title of a TV show that doesn't exist, and I'll write the cold open for that TV show. So a bunch of people have sent those. I just started writing all of them. And when they finish, I'll put them on my website. But I've written, what's my favorite so far? Someone gave me the title Get Bent, and I made it about a disgruntled Canada's Wonderland employee. So
I like it.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, he's like the drop zone. Why is it not bent?
Oh,
Sorry.
Remember how
I'm
much
sorry.
change you used to lose on the jet scream, Freddie?
Oh,
Buddy, if you had a loonie in your pocket, the jet scream's taking that loonie.
that's
pal.
true.
Oh.
Yeah. That
I
was a
got
tough
off
one.
the ride on the Canadian Mindbuster mid-ride.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
no.
did. No. It's no way I could. I'd be too scared.
Imagine.
Mindbuster.
I can't.
I'd be hurt. But okay, we're Mindbuster.
We're all just starved for
Yeah,
contact, and it was really nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys. The Raptors are doing good. Things are turning around.
Things are coming back.
Things are good. But yeah, that's it for the pod. Thanks everyone who listens, shares, subscribe, all that good stuff that pro podcasters talk about doing. Yeah, love you all, and we'll see you next week. Matt, if we're good to go, please just give me those sweet words. Okay.
We're off.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.